we're out here and we said, let's just pop in and just talk to the people a little bit about some of the things that we have learned in being married during the pandemic. So I'm Dr. Lewis, owner of Atlanta Couple Therapy, and this is
Brenda Moore.
So one of the lessons that we've talked about is that, sometimes we just want to say what's on our mind. We feel a certain way and we feel like we just need to let our spouses know that. But
what I've learned over the years of being with my husband for over 25 years, what I've learned is sometimes the most important thing you can do is just stop talking. Okay, because sometimes we talk a little bit too much. And what we need to do is, number one, model the behavior that we want. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so in modeling the behavior, what you want. So often I talk to women and what they say is, I'm just going to be me. I'm not changing.
Type a 1 in the comments if that's you. If you felt like, I'm just going to be me. I'm not changing. This is who I always been. Deal with it. Type a 1 if you ever felt like that.
And sometimes you have to sit down and ask yourself, what's the most important thing in this situation? Is it for me to be me or for me to win? And if I win, then the both of us can win. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost impossible to remain your same way without making changes to your life and continue to win. I always tell people, the bottom line is we want to win the war. Mm-hmm. We can win battles, but sometimes you win battles, but you lose the war. And the war is me making a decision that we're going to make this relationship work. I'm going to do what I need to do to change. And as I change, then what happens out of that, my husband, as a result, he starts changing. But change begins with you. That's something that you can control. And I have made a decision, number 2, that I'm going to be a soft place for my husband to lay his head. And in being that, then that means that I have to take a look at who he is and realize that he's different from me. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. I do not need to duplicate myself. My expectations do not need to be the same of what I would do in situations. We're two different people. We were brought up differently. And so it's almost insane for me to expect for him to behave just like I behave.
But we do that, don't we?
All the time.
We do that. We be like, okay, the way I was raised is
right.
X, Y, and Z. So this is how we need to do things. Never taking into account that maybe your spouse, maybe they see things differently. Maybe their values are different.
And it's okay. It is okay. Because I have to remember who the man is that I fell in love with. And I have to celebrate that. Because so often after years and years, you forget the most important things about who your spouse is, because you get so busy with day-to-day activities.
Yes, Lord.
And sometimes you just need to reconnect. You need to look at him as you looked at him when you first met him and first fell in love with him, and appreciate and celebrate what he brings to the table, which will be, most cases, different than what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. But if you come together as a couple,
come together.
Yes, you can have power, because there's so much power in
unity.
Yes, in unity, and coming together and deciding, okay, our goal is to achieve this. Mm-hmm. And so with what you bring to the table and what I bring to the table, we can get to what we want.
Ooh, that's so powerful, y'all. I love the quote that says, how can two walk together unless they agree? I'm going to the left, he going to the right. Somebody needs to be willing to bend. Somebody has to be willing to compromise. And it's power in that. It's power in unity. It's power in making a decision that, no, I'm not going to just say whatever comes to my mind, because it's a foolish thing to tear down your house with your own words. And we have to be mindful about how we use our words. And I'm sharing with you this as a psychologist, but I'm also sharing with you this as somebody that's in this journey with you, trying to do this thing called marriage and stay married. Come on, somebody, because we got married not to get divorced. We got married to have longevity in this thing. And so I'm still changing. I'm still developing. I'm still discovering new ways to communicate with my husband in love. Because sometimes I be like, I want to just say how I feel. And I can't do that, you know?
And so many times we need a support system. We
Mm-hmm.
need somebody that we trust. Somebody that we trust so they can pull our coattails and say, you know, there was a different way that you could have done that. Because when you counsel yourself,
That's foolish.
yes. And so what I found out is I surround myself with people that I trust, that believe in me, and that support me. And so when they pull my coattail and say, Brenda, you could have did that a different way, then I'm eager to make it right. The other piece that so often the problem is we don't want to apologize.
Ooh, how many of y'all are guilty of that? Where you're like, I don't want to say I'm sorry. Raise your hand. I know that's been me before, where I was like, I know I could have did that, handled that wrong, well, or different. But it's sometimes hard to say, I'm sorry, forgive me. But we need to do it. We have to do it.
And that's the easiest thing in the world, is to look at your partner, who you love,
Who
and
you
who
love,
you are committed to,
and you want to be happy and at peace at home.
and just say, you know, baby, I blew that one. I'm sorry. And then he would in turn, in most cases,
It'll soften him.
yes, and he will get in the boat with you. Sometimes we just so big on being right that
And then you lose in the end. You want to be right so bad that now you're going to the divorce court because you just got to be right. Now you're right by yourself.
Yes, and so the most important thing that you can decide is I'm going to be committed. I'm going to be committed to this person, whether I like him or not like him, because your emotions can be very fickle at times.
And commitment is a decision. You know, we decide. I'm committed. I'm committed when I don't like you. I'm committed when you get on my nerves. I'm committed when it's raining. I'm committed when it's sunshine.
Yes, and as a result of that, then you will have the longevity that you want and that you deserve.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming in and listening to us today. We wanted to give you this advice, not just as couples therapists, because we counsel couples every week, but also as wives in this journey with you and on a journey of self-discovery. We want you to learn from the lessons that we've had in being with our husbands for over decades, you know, and so we want to make sure that y'all continue to grow and flourish in your marriage. If you have liked what you've heard here, then make sure that you stay dialed in. And if you want some support through couples therapy, then feel free to give our office a call at 404-496-8070. Our website is atlantacoupletherapy.com. If somebody can write that in the chat. Freedom, thank you so much for talking back to us. We like to hear from you guys. We like to know that you picking up what we dropping off. We like to know that it's resonating with you. So do us a favor and write down in the chat, what is one of your takeaways? What are one of the things that you're committed to taking action on today? And Freedom, if you can write in the chat, the phone number is 404-496-8070. See you soon.
Have a wonderful weekend with your significant other.
Bye, guys.